When you want to run your first swim tunnel experiment in AutoResp 3, you must perform a water velocity calibration to be able to control how fast your animal should swim. The water velocity calibration can be done in the calibration menu, but before entering, your DPTV device must be connected in the devices menu first. Note that we are running in demo mode, so the DPTV data you see here are not true data. You must also make sure to have your swim tunnel ready to run, and instructions on how to do this can be found in the setup quick guides or by watching the setup videos. Upon entering the calibration menu, you will find your DPTV devices displayed in tabs at the top and their respective data graphs in subtabs underneath. The data parameters for each graph are represented in the legend panel on the right, and the value here is the real-time value read by the DPTV, or the value that you have your cursor placed on. Start by choosing which swim tunnel you're using in the settings section at the bottom. This is important since the calibration settings differ for each type of swim tunnel. The moving average value will change how noisy the signals look, and you should generally leave it at 5. Note that our two smallest swim tunnels, the 170 and 1500 milliliter ones, are calibrated differently from our larger swim tunnels. And if you choose either of the small ones, a few more options appear over here in the calibration section. We will get to these options in a second, but for now we will choose a 5-liter swim tunnel and focus on the calibration section, which is where the calibration data will appear once you start performing the calibration. The purpose of the water velocity calibration is to tell AutoResp what the measured water velocity is at a given voltage or RPM value. For our swim tunnel, we can go to the speedometer here and control the motor output. If you click and drag the needle or enter a specific voltage value, the motor will start running and the voltage and RPM values read by the DPTV will appear over here and in the real-time data section. You can always stop the motor by going back to 0 or by using the emergency stop button here. Once the signal stabilizes after a few seconds, go ahead and measure the water velocity of the water inside the swim tunnel using proper flow equipment. Once you have determined the velocity, input the value here and click the Add button. The first calibration data point is added, and it can also be visualized in either of these two graphs up here. Repeat this procedure for at least 4 more steps to get a good linear correlation. To automate this calibration procedure, click the Auto button down here. The motor will now ramp up to a selected number of voltage values, and once the signal stabilizes, measure and enter the velocity value and click Add. Then the motor will ramp to step 2 and 3, and the automated calibration is done once you reach step 4. Calibrating our two small swim tunnels is a little different in that you are recommended to use our DPTV system to measure the water velocities. Our previous DPTV2 software is now integrated directly into AutoResp 3, and since the way DPTV2 works remains the same, we recommend watching the DPTV2 video tutorial on how to measure the water velocities from either a recorded video file or by using the automated live DPTV. Note that live DPTV requires one of our cameras to be connected to your PC in AutoResp 3. Once you have your calibration data inside the DPTV section, click the Apply button to transfer the data back to AutoResp. The calibration data in the list is automatically saved internally in AutoResp, so you can go back to the main menu whenever you're ready. If you want to back up the calibration data as a text file, use this button here, and then load them back into AutoResp later on. We generally recommend performing a new water velocity calibration whenever you make any adjustments to your physical swim tunnel setup, or if you move your swim tunnel to another location, as this can shift the moving parts slightly and thus the relationship between motor power and water velocity. And that's it on how to calibrate your swim tunnel in AutoResp 3. If you have any questions about how to calibrate your swim tunnel in AutoResp 3 or about other aspects of the software, you're welcome to contact us on our website.